for those youth who are in immigrant communities, the potential spouse that one can marry here is a lot less than if you were there back home. You have a lot of friends, a lot of families that you can potentially consider a spouse from. But being in an immigrant community, that limits many of our youth in terms of the spouse whom they can choose. And that presents a challenge. So how do we address this challenge? I'll mention a few points that will help us in addressing this challenge. Number one, even if you live in a smaller community, there are many good families that live in that community. And you can get to know these families. You can start by looking at those who come to religious centers, to these programs. I've known many good youth, truly believing youth, who got married through religious programs. Because these programs gave them an opportunity to get to know good families. So here, when you come to a center, for example, go to someone who knows families, is well connected, an elder brother, for example, who has wisdom and experience, an elder sister who has wisdom and experience. Approach them and ask them. Tell them, I am interested in getting married. Can you help me? You know many families in this area. Can you introduce me to someone who has the good qualities that I'm looking for? Someone who is mindful of God, someone who is well behaved, someone who is well achieved. How often do we do this, honestly? Our youth, how often do they do this? Go to someone wise in your community, specifically in these centers, and ask them, introduce me. So that is one way. And if you do that, this will increase the chances of you finding an appropriate spouse. Another way is to stay in touch with other communities in the West. For example, Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa, Vancouver. Contact friends if you have friends over there. Contact them. Or go and visit them. If there's a conference in Toronto, go. Why not? Take the time, go meet new communities, meet new families, make a friendship, and then through your friendship with those in other communities, do your research and ask. Approach an expert and ask. You know, yesterday we were discussing this, or the day before. Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, when he wanted a son who would be brave, who would have the good qualities to support his son Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam in Karbala, he was looking for the appropriate wife who would deliver him that son. How does Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam marry the mother of Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas, al-Banin? He sends his brother Aqil. Why Aqil? Just because he was his brother? No. Aqil was an expert in Arabic ancestry and families. He knew anything he wanted to know about families. Which family has these qualities? He knew. What's their background? What's their history? What kind of qualities do they have? He knew all of that. So Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam sends him and he tells him, go find me a wife from a family who has the courage and the loyalty and the faith, because he wants Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas alayhi salam. That was his goal, that was his plan. Aqil finds him. In doing so, Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam is practically teaching us that when you're looking for a potential spouse, go to an expert. Go to an expert, someone who knows families well in society, and tell them. Tell them, I have serious intentions. I'm at a point in my life where I want to get married. Can you recommend me a good family? Or is there a person you know in the community who might potentially be good for me? Once you've done that research, then you can go forward and, propose or get to know this person. And brothers and sisters, one piece of advice that I'll share with you is that these days, the common way for us to get to know one another is to, if there's someone whom you're interested in, you go, you meet that person, you get their number, you exchange emails, whatever social media accounts, and you start talking to that person to get to know this person. And our youth, believe me, they spend months and months and months and sometimes even years talking to one another. Once there was a young man and woman, initially he did have the intention of getting married. After 2 years, he's been talking to the sister for 2 years. After 2 years, we told him, Habibi, Inta, what are you up to? You've been talking to her for 2 years. Where are you trying to achieve? You still don't know her yet? You want 5 more years? And then he realized that, you know what? These 2 years, he wasn't really serious. He just wanted someone to talk to, and then you have that emotional attachment. And then at the end of those 2 years, he decided to walk out. You know what? He changed his mind. Guys change their minds very quickly. What happened to her? You know what happened to her? Severe depression, suicidal. Yes. Because she was so attached to him after 2 years of talking, and the guy just decided, you know what? I want to move away from this relationship. Why did you put yourself in this relationship to begin with? Do proper research. Ask others, friends who know that person, community members who know that person. If that person has the right qualities, you think upon your research they have the right qualities, be a man, go through the front door and propose. What is it for you to go 2 years and talk to that person? And besides, you think that person is really going to show you their real personality? Of course not. When you know someone's interested in you, you're going to act. And especially if you have those feelings kicking in and you fall in love, as they say, love blinds. It really does blind you. You will not see the other side. A lot of brothers and sisters, after they get married, this is a common concern that we hear. The sister comes and she's so frustrated and she says, Sayyid, I don't know what happened to him. Before marriage, he was an angel. He was my hero. And now after we got married, suddenly he became the devil. I never expected that he would flip so easily. He would change overnight. And we tell her, look, honestly, he didn't change overnight. People don't just change overnight. He's the same person, but you were blind all that time. Because you had feelings with each other. You were blind. You didn't see that side. Same with the brother. He comes after marriage and, she's not the person I signed up for. She turned out to be completely different. Because you went the wrong way. So by approaching elders in society, those who know families, friends, who can introduce you to others, that is the safest way. And my advice to the parents, our dear parents, if you see a young man, a youth coming to you, being a man, walking through your front door and officially proposing, take this person seriously. If he was not serious and he wanted to play around and fool around, he would have went the other way, like many do. But when he's coming with confidence and he's respectfully asking, don't waste this opportunity. Realize that this person is honest, this person is serious, he's not here to fool around. Because if he wanted to fool around, there were many other avenues for him. Take these seriously. Don't just, shut the door in his face. Take it seriously. So I think for those of us who want to get married here, and our communities are small, through this network, through this process, this highly increases the chances of finding a potential spouse, inshallah.